Here's one mindset shift you can adopt to start getting better faster while playing pickleball. I'll start with a question. Where do you focus after you win a point or make a mistake? Is it on the decision you made or the outcome you got? In her book, Thinking in Bets, Annie Duke says, we hold a tight relationship between outcomes and decisions. We often decide whether a decision is good or not based on its outcome. She calls this resulting. But as we have all experienced, good outcomes are possible even when we make bad decisions, and vice versa. For example, if you're late and decide to run a red light and don't get caught, it was still a bad decision. You just had a good outcome and didn't get caught. Just because you got away with it doesn't make it a good decision. Here's another example from Annie Duke's book. Pete Carroll, Super Bowl 2015, you remember? The Seattle Seahawks with 26 seconds remaining and they're trailing by 4 points. They have the ball, it's second down at the New England Patriots 1 yard line. Everyone is expecting the Seahawks coach Pete Carroll to call for a handoff to running back Marshawn Lynch. It was a short yardage situation and Lynch was one of the best running backs in the NFL. Instead, Carroll called for quarterback Russell Wilson to pass. New England intercepted the ball, winning the Super Bowl moments later. Then media outlets killed Carroll for the play call. Listen to this.
That was the worst play call in Super Bowl history. Then the second demotion, that was the worst decision by a quarterback. You have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
The Washington Post called it the dumbest call in Super Bowl history. Now, while most of the world felt this way, there were a few outlying voices that argued the play choice was actually sound. So let's look into it for a sec. Clock management and end of game considerations. An interception was an extremely unlikely outcome. Out of 66 pass attempts from an opponent's 1 yard line during that season, 0 had been intercepted. In the previous 15 years, the interception rate in that situation was about 2%, not very big. Imagine for a moment that the play worked and Wilson completed the pass for a game-winning touchdown. The headlines would have read, "Brilliant call," or "Seahawks win on a surprise play." Pete Carroll actually called a play that had a high percentage of ending in a game-winning touchdown or an incomplete pass, which would have been allowed them to potentially run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. So some would argue he made a quality decision that got a bad result. And Annie Duke said, Pete Carroll was a victim of our tendency to equate the quality of a decision with the quality of its outcome. Now, the same applies to pickleball. Think about it like this. If you speed up a soft dink and the opponent hits a strong counter to win the point, it doesn't necessarily mean the decision to hit that shot was wrong. It means you got one bad outcome on a single shot. And here's the thing, what happens in those next 10 seconds following that moment is crucial and many get it wrong. Most respond to a point with celebration or a miss with frustration, which is fine, I do the same. I'm not saying it's bad, we're all human. What I am saying is after 2 seconds of having that emotional response, most don't do this next thing, GCQ, get curious quick. Don't fall into the trap of resulting. Instead, respond internally with a question. Did I make the correct decision with that shot? And you might wonder, how would I even know that? Well, back to the speed up example. Explore a few of these questions. Was their paddle position down? Was the ball high enough to speed up? Have you ever practiced that shot? Does the player standing in front of you have slow hands? Were you aiming at their right hip or right shoulder? A tough place for righties to counter? If the answer is yes, it was probably a good decision that yielded a bad outcome. Think about it like this. If you hit that same shot 10 times and win 6 or 7, it's a good decision. The problem is most of us, me included, don't think about the entire match and the odds of certain shots working. We give too much weight to each individual shot we hit, whether good or bad. And all of a sudden we operate on this emotional roller coaster, too easily impacted by whatever the outcome is. And this is hurting your game and truthfully just pissing you off. So here's the one actionable tip. Next time you play, redirect your focus on what you can control rather than just on the outcome you got. Ask yourself, is the decision I made, regardless of the outcome I got, gonna win the point 6 or 7 out of 10 times? And if you think the answer is yes, hit it again the next time you see that ball. And if the answer is no, don't hit it again and improve your chances of winning the point by doing something that is higher percentage. This decision to separate the decision from the outcome, it'll free you, at least for a moment, from that emotional roller coaster that many of us go on while playing. In the moment that I adopted this mindset in my training and when I was playing rec pickleball, everything changed. Because I started to evaluate rather than just get emotionally frustrated. And when I started doing that, my improvement accelerated. Hope this helps. Quick interruption, zoom in, a little bit out. I got a video series, a new video series for you. 18 advanced tips to help you move up a level. Go to the description below, click the link, type in your email, and start getting videos immediately. 1 video a day for 18 days. Let's go.